Hello and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Justyna, and if you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today, I'm going to talk about the new moon happening on December the 1st at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So here, a new moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same degree at the same minute. This is the beginning of a new lunar cycle, a time when you can set intentions, new intentions, goals, objectives for your life, for your future. Now, this new moon is a bit tricky. Mercury is still retrograde in Sagittarius as well. And we've got a square to Saturn, a harmonious trine to Mars, which actually aligns with the North Node as well. We've got a fire grand trine, which is all about taking action, lots of passionate, driven, spiritual, and overall goal-oriented energy. So we will explore the energies of this new moon. In the first part, I will look at the general overview of this new moon, and in the second part, I'll give you an interpretation of this new moon for each rising sign. So thank you very much, and let's begin. All right, so here we've got the chart for this new moon happening on the 1st of December at 9 degrees. So lots of fresh energy infused with that optimistic and energy of Sagittarius connected to exploration, connected to that need to move forward overall. First decan, which actually emphasizes personal beliefs, personal growth, development, freedom, the need to learn, to grow, to explore. Now, yes, so we've got a grand fire energy, which I mentioned earlier as well. So we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. We've got Mars in Leo, still in a direct motion, about to station retrograde. And also we've got the North Node in Aries. So a combination of cardinal fixed and mutable energy in this grand trine. And overall, a grand trine in fire energy can be very inspirational, fueled with passion, creativity, drive to initiate and inspire as well. However, we've got also a square to Saturn here, Saturn in a direct motion at this point in Pisces. So this adds a layer of seriousness, responsibility to otherwise free-spirited energy of this Sagittarius new moon. So generally, this aspect suggests that these new beginnings, new intentions, that you may want to set for yourself, for your life, they may come with obstacles, or perhaps they might require a more solid foundation, thinking things through as well. Make sure that you're on the same page with another person if you're joining forces with others, or make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into here, since Mercury is still retrograde. All right, so here we've got also a trine to Mars, of course, which is connected to that grand trine energy, which even though here with that square to Saturn, we might feel more fearful, we might feel more doubtful at times as well, but at the same time, the trine to Mars in Leo gives us confidence, boosts our motivation, boosts that creative side of our psyche, and motivates us overall to take action. So overall, this new moon offers this amazing opportunity for intellectual, spiritual, personal growth, even if challenges arise. So even though there is that energy connected to fear, resistance, and doubt, we also have a lot of energy that gives us hope, that helps us to see the light at the end of the tunnel. All right, so a little bit about this new moon. Now let's see what this new moon brings and means for you on a more of a personal level. So here I follow Western astrology, tropical zodiac, and here this horoscope is most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch it for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. So thank you very much, and let's begin. All right, so hello Aries and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Sagittarius. We've got the ninth house activation happening here. So this is all about adventure, spontaneity, freedom, exploration, and it's a really powerful moment here, opportunity, if you will, to plant seeds connected to growth, development, personal development, anything connected to that opportunity, potential to expand your horizons, your wisdom, your opportunities through education, through spiritual exploration, or perhaps through engaging in new experiences that offer that opportunity for growth and development. Now, at the same time, the focus overall of that ninth house influence is on redefining your worldview. New moon brings new and fresh energy. And so you might feel this very strong pull to explore something different, something new, new philosophies. This is about engaging in brand new activities or embarking on a journey, or generally this could be about just planning something for some time in the future, whether this is a new course of study or a trip that you want to take or embark on a journey next year. It doesn't have to happen now. We've got lots of retrograde energies in December, so definitely think things through. It's not about jumping too quickly into these brand new ideas here. We've got a square to Saturn, remember, that creates that tension and perhaps that needs to take a step back and see whether this is really what you want. But here, perhaps you might have to reassess, reevaluate as your life situation and the direction you're heading in your life before you can fully embrace the opportunities of growth. Now, Mars in your fifth house boosts your creativity, confidence, passion. So there's a lot of supportive energy as well. And you might find inspiration during this time through creative hobbies, interests, through some romantic connections, for example, as well, through your children, through working with children, even. And with Mercury retrograde here in the ninth house, where this new moon is present, this is less about taking immediate action and more about reevaluating long-term goals, long-term plans, because there might be delays and there might be some confusions surrounding um, any travel plans or anything to do with higher learning or legal matters, for example. So it's a time to revisit anything that perhaps you didn't complete, unfinished projects, um, for example, or perhaps reflect or reevaluate your beliefs, your life principles, and generally here, this is a time to evaluate if your goals, objectives, plans align with your higher purpose, with the direction you're heading, for example. And Saturn in the 12th house wants you to address any hidden fears or any unresolved emotional baggage, perhaps, before moving forward. All right, so thank you very much. And now let's look at the next sign. Taurus, welcome. We've got a new moon activating your eighth house, and here with the eighth house activation, there's this strong emphasis upon transformation, shared resources, deep psychological growth, development, anything to do with the intimate side of your life. Now, here, this new moon is all about setting intentions around vulnerability, financial partnerships or collaborations, personal empowerment. Now, the eighth house is generally associated with shared and joint resources, whether in relationships, business partnerships, or perhaps inheritance. So, generally, this new moon encourages you to reassess and set goals surrounded around these areas. And now, emotional healing or perhaps anything to do with personal transformation is generally here also the focus of this new moon. You might feel motivated to let go of anything that no longer serves you, anything that blocks that ability to grow, to move forward. And Saturn in your 11th house, now in a direct motion, brings potentially some challenges in your social circle, in anything to do with the networking opportunities or some future goals and plans. This new moon squares Saturn. So here you might face some additional responsibilities around this time, some restrictions or restricting energies, and that generally might push you to reevaluate your long-term goals, objectives for the future. Maybe you will feel stimulated to align your goals with your dreams, some big dreams especially. Maybe this is about reevaluating your friendships here with the square to Saturn in your 11th house. Mars in your 4th house of home and family matters generally boosts your drive for, or perhaps not even boosts, but highlights or bring or generally gives you this need to reevaluate the emotional side of your life, but at the same time, perhaps there is something that needs to be addressed at home. I think there will be a lot of energy motivation that you might also have to deal with home related projects or perhaps address any family related matters. Now, here the trine to Mars overall in your 4th house offers a lot of supportive energy, energy that can help you to bring more stability in the area of home. Mars is still retrograde in the same house as where the new moon is present in your 8th house. This could potentially bring delays or perhaps confusion around any financial agreements, taxes, or any debts, for example, mortgage applications, for instance, as well. Now, at the same time with Mercury being retrograde and the new moon in the same house, some old issues regarding shared and joint resources, for example, some investments of some sort could potentially resurface around this time. This is a time for a resolution, finding solutions to these potential problems that may emerge. They don't have to, but they may. So it's generally a great time for reviewing contracts, for emotional healing, for letting go as well of any emotional baggages. It's also a good time for rethinking how you manage power dynamics in close relationships, in close unions. So, generally, use this new moon to let go of any limiting beliefs, limiting behaviors, or behavioral patterns. This is generally a time to embrace the opportunity to rebuild stronger connections with others and within yourself. This is an overall good time for rushing with any decisions. It's a time to take a step by step approach here. Mercury is retrograde. It's about building a solid foundation and before embarking on a brand new journey that the energies of this new moon offer. All right, so thank you very much, Taurus. Now let's have a look at Geminis. Geminis, welcome. We've got this new moon activating your 7th house. So here, relationship as partnerships, collaborations are highlighted. It's a really powerful time for setting intentions regarding one-to-one connections overall, whether romantic, business, platonic. Now, the 7th house new moon generally invites you to initiate something fresh in this area of life, in the area of one-to-one connections, unions. You might be renewing a contract at this time as well, or renewing your vows as well. Here, Mercury is still retrograde in your 7th house of relationships. Here, this is a great time for reflecting on what you truly need and want from others and what you're willing to give in return. Now, Saturn in your 10th house highlights anything to do with your reputation, responsibilities, worldly responsibilities, your outside persona, your career. We've got a square to Saturn in Pisces happening at this time as well. So you might feel a tension between your professional, worldly responsibilities, obligations, if you will, and the time or energy needed to nurture your relationships, contracts, partnerships, unions, one-to-one connections, especially those that are very close to your heart. So here, the new moon and Saturn square wants you to find a balance between your public outside world and your private life. Maybe this is about reprioritizing your commitments to others versus your career outside world goals and objectives. We've got a lovely trine to Mars at the same time as well in your third house. And this can generally, it's a good thing for your communication and learning because Mercury is retrograde, but the trine to Mars can boost your communication skills, anything to do with negotiating skills as well, learning. And generally, this trine supports dynamic conversations, and you might feel motivated to generally, or you will have more energy overall to deal with any possible misunderstandings that may arise around this time, or some kind of clashing energies, especially if someone doesn't fully agree with your idea. Here, the trine to Mars gives you this boost to get on with, whatever challenge that emerges through exchange of ideas or communication. Conversations with others. Also, overall, the focus of this new moon is on clarity, on active listening. And overall, the square to Saturn in your 10th house could also show or reveal any imbalances between your professional, worldly ambitions and relationship needs. So here, this is generally also connected to finding harmony, to setting clear and healthy boundaries, to manage your time more effectively as well. All right, so thank you very much. Let's have a look at the next sign. Hello, Cancers, and welcome. We've got a new moon activating here, new moon in Sagittarius activating your 6th house that deals with daily life, your lifestyle, your daily routine, responsibilities, your health, any illnesses. Generally, this new moon is a great time for thinking about these any new intentions you may want to focus on when it comes to creating a life that feels more aligned with your sense of purpose and well-being. Now, the 6th house represents your day-to-day life, and this new moon is really, really perfect for setting habits, for improving health routines, for organizing your work life as well. Of course, Mercury is still retrograde, so you've got this amazing opportunity to also rethink how you contribute to others through your work, through your actions, through your service. It's a great time for generally reassessing, reevaluating your daily reality as well. Now, here we've got the square to Saturn in Pisces in your 9th house. The 9th house deals with your beliefs, your life principles, anything connected to growth and freedom. And this is connected, generally the squares are connected to tensions, and you may feel tension between practical obligations, daily responsibilities, generally the practical side of your life, and your broader ambitions, your goals, your objectives for the future. Generally, this aspect could really prompt you to reassess how your daily actions align with your purpose, with the direction that you're heading. Now, you might experience delays when it comes to anything to do with traveling, anything to do with learning, studying, or perhaps you might have to readjust your plan. So it's all about being flexible and adaptable with all that mutable energy. But generally, anything connected to your routine, to your commitments, to your work here, there could be a little twist. Perhaps your day or week might not go as planned. So just keep it in mind so that you don't get disappointed. Now, Mars in your 2nd house is activated by the energy of this new moon. We've got a lovely trine. This generally boosts, energizes your finances, but also your self-worth and self-esteem. So even though there could be some, you might experience delays, you might experience some setbacks when it comes to travel, for example. Perhaps your plans may have to kind of be readjusted, but at the same time, with Mars being activated in your 2nd house, this is like the energy that helps you to get on with whatever that happens, get through any obstacles that emerge and occur. And generally, this supportive energy also helps you to take bold steps towards securing any financial opportunities that may emerge around this time, especially through work-related opportunities. So generally here, with Mercury retrograde in the same house as this new moon, where this new moon is present, this could mean that there could be some potential delays or misunderstandings in your work or with coworkers. So it's really important that you double check anything connected to your projects, work, anything that you'll be dealing with around this new moon. Double check communications with coworkers and review any health appointments. Any routines, anything that perhaps you do on a daily basis, something that you're very used to, and here just pay attention because it's very easy to make a little error or a mistake without even realizing. So overall here, a new moon in the sixth house with Mercury retrograde, a great time for reassessing, reviewing your habits, daily habits, your health, your health routine, your diet. And it's generally an opportunity for thinking about healthier habits that you may want to implement that can generally improve your or support your physical and mental well-being. All right, so let's have a look at the next sign. Leo's, welcome. We've got a new moon in Sagittarius activating your fifth house. The fifth house deals with creativity, romance, self-expression, and joy. So this new moon generally invites you to set fresh intentions connected to any hobbies, interests, romance, the romantic side of your life, anything to do with self-expression. Maybe this is about generally implementing a plan or perhaps a goal connected to finding more spark and fun in your life. For example, generally, this new moon offers this amazing opportunity for refreshing your approach to your hobbies, your interests, anything that brings fun, joy in your life. And here, with this new moon connecting with Mars in Leo by a trine, I think this is also about embracing joy and playfulness in your life, especially if you feel like this has been lacking recently here with that Plutonic energy opposing your first house or any placements you may have in these very, very early degrees of Leo or final degrees of Cancer. So you might feel inspired to generally engage into some new hobbies, interests, projects. We've got a square to Saturn happening as well. Saturn in Pisces in your eighth house. So generally, this could indicate that you might experience a certain degree of tension between your desire for fun, freedom, pleasure, entertainment, and perhaps this is some heavier obligations or responsibilities connected to your relationships, finances, and this is about finding a healthy balance. Even if something comes up here that will require your attention, don't forget about self-care and finding time for yourself, for something that brings you joy. Because here with that eighth house activation, Saturn is now in a direct motion. Some emotional baggage or some financial matters may require your attention, potentially creating a certain degree of setbacks or some roadblocks to fully enjoy this creative or romantic spark that you might experience during this new moon. But at the same time, here, don't let these energies to take the fun side of life away from you, because you've got Mars in your first house currently still in the direct motion. And I think that whatever comes up around this new moon, if you realize actually that there is something or someone that takes that fun and joy and happiness away from your life, then when Mars is retrograde, this will be also one of the big themes that may come up later in the month. But overall, with Mars being in a direct motion, still connecting with this new moon by a trine, this gives you drive, confidence, energy, and a boost of energy overall. And this trine can really, really empower you to take action and embark on this new journey of connected to self-expression, for example, new hobbies, interests, and so on. But overall, Mercury retrograde in your fifth house, where this new moon is present as well, can also make you return to some past creative projects, for example. Or perhaps this could be about returning to some childhood memories, games that perhaps you played as a child. You might want to perhaps recreate these opportunities and create new opportunities for your children based on your childhood memories as well. Now, for others, this could be about reconnecting with old flames as well. So overall here we've got this lovely energy with the grand fire trine, the trine to Mars, and the square to Saturn. This is about generally finding balance between your desire for fun, for spontaneity, with those deeper obligations or emotional side of your life. All right, so thank you very much. Let's have a look at Virgos. Virgos, welcome. We've got a new moon activating your fourth house. So here, family and home-related matters are highlighted. There is a mix of energies happening at the time of this new moon because Mercury is still retrograde, and we've got a square to Saturn, a grand trine, a grand fire trine as well. So a mix of energies, Sagittarius and Virgo are both mutable signs. So it's a really powerful time for reimagining what home truly means to you, both physically and emotionally. Remember, the fourth house governs home, family, roots, where you come from, your emotional security. And this new moon is fantastic for making changes to your domestic life, whether that means moving, redecorating, addressing family dynamics, for example. Now, on a deeper level, because the fourth house is connected to really deep and private energies, it's also an invitation to create emotional stability, to nurture your inner self. Now we've got Saturn in the seventh house, now in a direct motion. Here, Saturn has brought lots of different lessons and experiences since it entered your seventh house last year in March. And here, during the time of this new moon, we've got a square to Saturn in Pisces. And this can bring some responsibilities or limitations to your connections, partnerships, one-to-one relationships, those close to your heart, especially. So you might feel torn between family obligations, personal, emotional needs, and the demands of a significant other or perhaps business partner. So here, this square highlights the importance of setting boundaries. That's what Saturn in the seventh house is very much about, in some sense as well, setting or learning to set healthy and clear boundaries and addressing also any imbalances in these one-to-one connections. Now, we've got Mars in your 12th house, still in a direct motion in the sign of Leo. And this can activate some hidden energies and maybe some fears or limitations. But here, this energy, because we've got a trine here, Mars in Leo feels very comfortable. And here, Mars in Leo encourages you to do some inner work. If you experience some limitations, fear, and low mood, maybe there is a need to for introspection and for inner work. It's a great time for overall for confronting any fears, for addressing any emotional baggages, if there are any at this point. Here, this new moon and the trine to Mars in Leo, Mercury retrograde, this can generally help you to transform, help you to heal. Mercury retrograde in your fourth house can bring some past family issues, old memories, or perhaps some miscommunications within your household. So you will have to be patient during this time with your loved ones, people's close to your heart. Maybe this is a time to also reevaluate or revisit some unresolved matters at your home. Right. So overall here, this is also a time to reevaluate, to review your long-term plans, anything to do with your living situation as well. Are you heading in the right direction or does something need to change? So this is a great opportunity for making plans overall, for improving your home and for that emotional side of your life, emotional foundation. And this could be through implementing some healthy, nurturing changes at your home, at your physical home. Maybe you have a need to redecorate in the near future. Maybe this is about resolving some family conflicts that have been an ongoing issue. So, whatever it is, here you've got an opportunity to think about what truly brings comfort, happiness into this area of your life. Here with that retrograde of Mercury, you've got a chance to reflect on what makes you feel truly grounded and safe. And as we move forward here, and Mercury stations direct, you will be able to implement the necessary steps to create a stronger sense of stability in this area of your life. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at Libras. Hello, Libras, and welcome. We've got a new one happening here in your third house of Sagittarius. The third house deals with communication, learning, your immediate environment, local connections as well. So here we've got an opportunity for also bringing stronger ties with your siblings, with your neighbors, your local community, a great chance for learning. Now we've got a square to Saturn in Pisces at this time in the sixth house of daily life, daily responsibilities, work, and a lovely trine to Mars in Leo in your 11th house. And actually, we've got a lovely grand trine that also connects the North Node in Aries with the new moon. So this indicates that you might have this strong need to balance your everyday responsibilities with your aspirations, goals, long-term plans, while also keeping in mind your connections and the support that you receive from your social networks, your local community as well. This new moon is great for and a great opportunity for starting written projects for generally since Mercury is still retrograde. It's a great chance for updating your website, your blog, for starting something new that perhaps was already kind of an idea or a goal in the past. Now, Saturn in the sixth house of work, health, and daily routines might also highlight a certain degree of setbacks or obstacles or perhaps responsibilities that may demand your attention at this time here, connected to your work, daily life. You might feel the pressure of generally balancing anything to do with your own objectives, anything to do with personal growth, development, etc., and also the mundane side of life, or perhaps anything to do with your well-being. And generally, the square with Saturn and Pisces really encourages you to bring more structure to your daily life in a way that it supports your goals and at the same time without creating too much stress here around your daily reality. So I think there's an opportunity here for bringing more structure to your daily routine here, especially if you feel like you are unable to fulfill some of your personal goals because there's too much going on in your daily life, in the mundane side of life. Maybe this is a time also to restructure your daily routine, see what you can perhaps let go of, just to make your life a little bit easier. Mars in Leo is in your 11th house of friendships, networks, long-term goals. And this can generally here, we've got a lovely trine here, and this can generally bring motivation. This can bring a lot of supportive energy when it comes to building connections within your immediate environment. So there is a possibility for collaborations with like-minded people. Maybe this is about joining local groups, networking with within your community, if there are any events happening in the area, perhaps an event, a networking event you wanted to join, and perhaps you didn't have a chance. Here, there might be an opportunity for doing so around this new moon. Because here with the trine to Mars and the new moon in the third house, Mercury retrograde, this also suggests that your community, your friendships could play a really important role around this new moon, helping you achieve your goals, your objectives. Now, Mercury retrograde in your third house, here, be mindful around this time of when it comes to communication. So communicate as clearly, effectively as you can. You might experience delays in travel, or perhaps some technical issues. So back up your data and check the travel arrangements here before embarking on any trip journey. and so on. Overall, this is a great time for returning to some old ideas, for reconnecting with old connections, for generally improving your skills and especially when it comes to writing or speaking. Maybe this is about starting a blog or a journal or a public speaking course, especially if this is something that you've already considered in the past. So even though this is a new moon, which is about new beginnings, there's an element of something returning back from the past. So I think anything that was already an idea or a goal before this new moon will work out easier and better than something that just comes up at the time of this new moon. With that retrograde phase of Mercury, it might be a bit tricky to start something brand new, an idea that just pops up into your mind at the time of this new moon. It's easier to work with something that was already a goal or an objective in the past. And here, the square to Saturn overall reminds us to stay organized, to stay grounded, not to take any shortcuts, to work effectively and constructively, and so on. All right, so thank you very much, Libras, and let's have a look at the next sign. All right, so Scorpios, welcome. We've got a new moon activating your second house. So here, your finances, your income, self-worth, personal values here. This is all activated at the time of this new moon. A great chance for setting fresh intentions regarding your income, regarding your resources, possessions. Maybe this is also about thinking carefully and deeply about how you value yourself and your skills, your talents. Remember, Mercury is retrograde at this time. So also probably the fresh intentions that you will be setting around this time. It's better if this is something that you have already thought about in the past. Now we've got a square to Saturn in Pisces in your fifth house of creativity, romance, children, and a trine to Mars in Leo in your 10th. So this really is a great thing, actually, because this suggests a need to balance that creative side of your life and responsibilities while using that career, outside world, public life momentum to boost and enhance your financial or material stability around this time. Now, this new moon generally is connected also to perhaps a need to reflect on your financial situation. This is connected to also to setting goals to improve your income, to manage your resources more effectively, more efficiently as well. So perhaps you will be reevaluating your spending habits, and perhaps you'll be creating a financial plan that aligns or better aligns with your long-term goals, dreams, objectives. Now, Saturn in the fifth house may bring some tension, perhaps some restrictions. Perhaps you might feel torn between your needs for fun and pleasure, entertainment, adventure, and the need to focus on that practical side of your life. Maybe this is about some temporary financial restrictions that perhaps would limit your ability for fun and recreation, but perhaps this temporary setback could bring some really amazing rewards in 2025. While at the same time, Saturn squaring this new moon wants you to be more disciplined, especially when it comes to balancing fun with responsibility. So overall, here when it comes to hobbies and fun and entertainment, here this is about having that more of a responsible, structured approach rather than just focusing on the fun and pleasure and spendings. So overall, the square to Saturn here is connected to having that self-control, to being more responsible, to have more discipline when it comes to balancing fun and responsibility. Now, Mars is your traditional ruler, of course, in the 10th house of career, reputation, outside world. This generally gives you a lot of motivation and drive to move forward with a career related goal or anything to do with your outside world, public life, for example. So I think for some Scorpios, this could be about an opportunity that may arise, or perhaps my resurface that could boost your financial area of your life. Or perhaps this is about achieving a greater sense of stability. Perhaps you may find that taking bold actions here, Mars in Leo, in your outside world, professional life, pays off in both recognition and some financial rewards as well. So I think with the new moon here, connecting with Mars by trine, even though there's a square to Saturn, which could bring some setbacks and limitations. I'm not saying it's going to be very straightforward, but I think for some this could mean some financial gains or forward momentum in your outside world, career, professional life. That could potentially mean a financial boost in the near future, something that maybe was already initiated most likely before this new moon occurs. Now, at the same time with Mercury retrograde, it's a great time to evaluate whether your work and lifestyle align with your values and perhaps let go of anything that doesn't support your sense of self-worth. Whether this is some negative energies, connections, possessions, even habits, and so on. All right, so now let's have a look at the next sign, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. We've got a new moon in Sagittarius happening on the first, in your first house, the house of self, identity, personal goals. So here, the spotlight is on you. We are in Sagittarius season now as well. And this new moon is really motivating and urging you to embrace your individuality, to set bold intentions, take steps towards personal growth, personal development. Now, we've got a square to Saturn happening as well in your fourth house, but also a trine to Mars in Leo in the ninth house. And this suggests that perhaps this is about navigating a possible tension, setbacks between personal goals, objectives, freedom, and family responsibilities. Now, this new moon is amazing for engaging in activities connected to self-discovery, personal empowerment. Now, here during this time, you might feel really inspired to take charge of your life, to initiate new projects, to adopt a fresh perspective that generally aligns with your inner self. Now, we've got Mercury retrograde at this time as well, a square to Saturn, a trine to Mars. So here, this is generally about finding a healthy balance between your personal ambitions, your goals, objectives, and your home and family dynamics. Mars in your ninth house, Mars in Leo, still in a direct motion at this time, the area of travel, education, philosophy. This is about having this strong desire for exploration, for expansion, for embarking or engaging in activities that offer freedom, independence, excitement, that increase your adrenaline. So lots of supportive energy here with the trine to Mars and overall the grand trine in the fire grand trine that generally encourages you to be adventurous, to be spontaneous, and you might feel really inspired to generally to take bold steps towards broadening your horizons, your wisdom. Perhaps it's about booking a foreign trip, a holiday, or embarking on a brand new career connected to teaching, coaching, aviation, or perhaps anything to do with international affairs, for example, legal matters, or perhaps some cultural projects. Now, Mercury is retrograde in your first house at this time as well, which is actually really important since it activates the house of the self, and it could bring some perhaps some moments when you will have this strong need to withdraw, contemplate. Overall, this could be connected to miscommunication as well, or misunderstandings possibly around this new moon. So here you need to be mindful of how you express yourself to others, because your words will have a very strong effect on others, and they may not always be understood in the way that you want to be understood. So they may not always convey your true intent. So it's something to be mindful of. At the same time, use this time to also reflect on your personal goals. This is about revisiting some old ideas or plans that may still hold some true and empowering potential for growth and development. This isn't a good time for jumping into brand new commitments, brand new ideas, or for making any major drastic changes in your life under the influence of Mercury retrograde. Focus instead on what you want to achieve for yourself. Define your vision and take small but confident steps toward personal growth and personal development. And here, while the square to Saturn might feel restrictive, use this energy to ensure your ambitions, your hopes, your dreams, your goals are grounded, are stable, even if your progress might feel slower than expected at this time. All right, so thank you very much. Let's have a look at the next sign now. Capricorns, welcome. The new moon in Sagittarius is happening in your 12th house, the house of introspection, spiritual growth, the hidden aspects of your life. So this is a great time to release of what no longer serves you. Now, usually here with the new moon, yes, this is about new beginnings, but at the same time, Mercury is retrograde in your 12th house as well, which can generally make you feel misunderstood or that, that you're not being heard. And generally here, this energy could also prompt you to withdraw, reflect, work behind the scenes to generally prepare for a fresh chapter in your life. Overall, this new moon is amazing for self-discovery, for releasing old patterns, for focusing on spiritual and psychological renewal. Remember, when the new moon in Capricorn occurs on the 30th of December in your first house, this is when you will feel very, very different, less introspective. So at this point, this is about your your inner world, internal reality, so to speak. Lots of different energies. Saturn, your ruler, here squares this new moon. We've got a square to Saturn in your third house of communication, daily interactions. And this can present some challenges in how you express yourself, in how you express your thoughts. It might be difficult to articulate your thoughts around this time and stay on top of everyday responsibilities. Generally, here with the new moon in your 12th house, squaring Saturn in your third house, you might feel a strong push to restructure the way you communicate, the way you learn, for example. This is also about a change of mindset, the way you see things. Maybe this is about also a possible tension that may arise between your need for introspection, peace and quiet, and the demands of your daily routine. So perhaps you might feel like withdrawing, you might feel like just staying on your own and contemplating, even reading or exploring. And instead, there could be just quite a lot going on in your daily routines. And at the same time, Mars in your eighth house of transformation, shared and joint resources, intimacy, offers a lovely energy for diving slightly deeper into your emotions, maybe into your financial matters as well. But we've got a lovely trine here, supportive energy that can really boost your confidence and bring a sense of empowerment in some sense as well. And at the same time, with Mars trining this new moon and activating your eighth house, connecting the 12th and the eighth house, this is also about an opportunity to heal through confronting some fears or some psychological blocks that you might be experiencing around this time. So you've got the inner strength, the inner power to face some difficult emotions so that perhaps you wouldn't have the energy or the confidence, motivation to face otherwise here. And then this way you can heal as well. So there's a lot of determination here with the trine to Mars. And Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. Here, some old memories, unresolved issues, or perhaps some hidden fears may resurface around this time. Lots of 12th house energy here, definitely present with this new moon. It's a great time overall to review your past actions, but also to forgive yourself, to release any burdens, emotional burdens you are carrying. Now, at the same time, Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, it's also connected to miscommunication, misunderstandings, So just be cautious, be mindful of that, especially when it comes to any confidential matters that you will be sharing with others. Now, at the same time, avoid rushing into any conclusions. Double check any details you'll be dealing with around this time. Now, overall, the 12th house energy, I think this is about also recharging emotionally, mentally. Prepare yourself for the next new moon that will be very, very different to the one that occurs on the 1st of December. So the beginning of the month will be very different to the end. The beginning is more introspective, especially since Sagittarius season is overall a pretty introspective time for Capricorns because when the sun is in the sign that is before our sun sign or our ascendant sign, we have a need to withdraw, contemplate. There is that 12th house energy that is actually really a good time for recharging yourself, releasing any habits, fears, relationships even that no longer serve you, that no longer serve your growth. So it's like a clearing away time, a time when you can clear your emotional side of your life in many ways. But at the same time, it's a great time for engaging in activities of a creative nature, and journaling as well, music, dance, lots of creative energy here is also highlighted, and it's very, very beneficial for your well-being. All right, so thank you very much. Let's move into the next sign. Aquarius, welcome. We've got a new moon activating your 11th house. So, here, friendships, social networks, long term aspirations, goals, objectives here. This is all very much highlighted. And this new moon gives you this amazing opportunity for setting intentions connected to your community involvement, future goals, a vision map, even. So I think it's a great time for setting these new intentions, but ideally something that perhaps you have already thought about in the past because Mercury is retrograde. So anything that just pops into your mind, I think it's better to delay it. But anything that you have already thought about before the retrograde of Mercury occurred or began, it's a better time for setting intentions overall that connect you to an idea, goal, objective that has already been kind of set in motion in the past or in the very recent past. Now, with this new moon, it's a great time for reconnecting with people, friends, acquaintances that you met in the past. You might be returning to some groups, networking events that perhaps you have already joined or took part in the past. We've got a lovely trine to Mars in Leo in your seventh house and a square to Saturn in Pisces in your second house, and Mars in Leo in your seventh. So here you might feel very inspired to set some really ambitious goals, to reevaluate how your dreams align with your current reality. All right, so a really powerful time for also collaborating with established communities, groups, people that perhaps you met in the past. So let's have a look at the square into Saturn, Saturn in Pisces in your second house. So here, your area of finances is activated, and generally here with Saturn in the second house, connecting with this new moon by a square, this brings your attention to any financial responsibilities that might be present in your current reality. You might also feel tension between your goals, long-term goals, objectives, dreams, hopes, but at the same time here you need to pay attention to the practical side of your life as well. Any outgoings that need your attention. So overall here the squares to Saturn is connected to developing a greater sense of responsibility, discipline, self-control even when it comes to your spendings, outgoings. This is about thoughtful, responsible, strategic planning to generally ensure that your goals, your hopes, your dreams align with your financial reality. Are you setting realistic goals at this point, something that you can achieve? Otherwise, you might generally, if you set unrealistic goals, then it could result in demotivation or perhaps the feeling of disappointment. So I think at this point, even though Sagittarius is about broadening your horizons, broadening your wisdom, but with Saturn squaring this new moon, I think Saturn wants you to be practical and realistic at this point. And here it's about setting goals that are realistic, practical, but at the same time, something that can expand your horizons and can help you to move forward. And if you can't afford it at this point in your life, maybe this is about creating a plan that could help you to break it down and see when you can possibly afford and achieve a goal that seems like not fully achievable at this point in your life. Now, at the same time, we've got a trine to Mars in Leo in your seventh house. So this could be connected to a possible collaborations, opportunities that come through other people, through connections with others. Mercury is retrograde in your 11th house, where this new moon is present. And this could mean that you will be reevaluating certain groups, connections in your life. Maybe you'll be rejoining, reconnecting with some people, or rejoining certain groups. Now, be cautious of possible misunderstandings, miscommunications within social circles at this time. I think this is about communicating clearly, openly, as openly as you can to avoid any possible misunderstandings. At the same time, double check any plans if you're going to be traveling anywhere or traveling to an important event, social event, for example. Make sure that you checked that everything is on time on the day. And if it isn't, then leave earlier, plan carefully. It's about being one step ahead. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at the next sign. Pisces, welcome. Got a new moon activating your 10th house of career, reputation, outside world, life direction. So here an opportunity for planting seeds connected to professional growth, or perhaps it's about redefining your public image, setting new goals related to long-term ambitions. Now, these goals, these intentions shouldn't be brand new. So not something that maybe comes up into your mind on the day of the new moon. Ideally, you want to work with the energies that that were already kind of established before Mercury retrograde started. Ideas, goals that were on your mind maybe prior to November 26th, ideally, if possible. Now, we've got a few interesting energies, a trine to Mars in Leo and a square to Saturn, which create very different energies. So first of all, with the new moon in the 10th house, this could be about receiving a recognition. I mean, perhaps was already promised, announced in the recent past, and it could be very well happening around this new moon. This is also about reevaluating the direction that you're taking in your career, reflecting upon your long-term vision and the direction that you're taking overall. You might feel drawn to step into a leadership role, or perhaps as you might feel like taking initiative on projects that can enhance, improve your professional path in some way. Now, the same time, the square to Saturn in Pisces in your first house, now in a direct motion, this generally here energy encourages self-discipline, self-control. This is about taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility for your personal development. Maybe this isn't about relying too much on other people. And here with square to this new moon, perhaps you might experience a moment of self-doubt or some external pressure. Generally, this square, whatever obstacle, whatever setbacks is created by this square, this generally energy can help you to clarify your sense of identity. It can help you to align yourself with your career goals, objectives in some way. So be mindful of overburdening yourself with some unrealistic expectations. Here, Saturn wants you to be grounded, realistic, practical as well, especially when it comes to your expectations you have of yourself, because with Saturn in the first house, you can be overly critical of yourself. So be patient with yourself and gentle. I know it's easier said than done, but here, Saturn, I've been there a few years ago. And we also have a trine to Mars in your sixth house. And this can really, really energize you. So on the one hand, the square to Saturn can kind of create that feeling of self-doubt, limitation, I'm not good enough, for example. But the trine to Mars in Leo boosts your energy and generally motivates you to take action no matter what, especially here in the outside world, professional area of your life. This is about building momentum in your daily life. Now, here with also Mars being activated, this could be connected to perhaps possible collaborations, opportunities that come through co-workers, work colleagues. Perhaps this is also connected to some kind of improvements when it comes to your workplace, when it comes to your need to be more productive, more efficient in your daily life. Let's not forget, Mercury is still retrograde in your area of outside world, career life, life direction, public life. This could bring possible delays, or perhaps some old career issues might resurface at this time. Some past professional opportunities, or perhaps some unresolved matters could come back for review. So overall, be mindful, especially when it comes to communication. Communicate as clearly as you can around this time, especially with authority figures, especially with bosses, managers, superiors, or coworkers, to avoid any unnecessary stress, disappointment. So here, um, communicate as clearly and as you can around this time. Because overall, this new moon can really help you understand what success truly means to you. This new moon can help you to understand what steps you need to take to reach success that you are hoping for, to reach your milestones and objectives. So use this time to revisit and redefine your goals and objectives for the future. And with Mercury retrograde, this is a time to reassess and decide what aligns with your current direction and what doesn't. So it's also about gaining that clarity, which might not necessarily come on the day of the new moon, but in the first 2 weeks of um, December. Thank you very much and all the best.